Sai Jagannatha, He Shri Jagannatha, He Pati Jagannatha, He Sai Jagannatha, He Shri Jagannatha, He Pati Jagannatha, He Sai Jagannatha, He Shri Jagannatha, He Pati Jagannatha, He Sai Jagannatha, He Sai Jagannatha, He Sai Jagannatha.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Sairam, everyone. Sairam, everyone.
Sairam.
I hope you have had a chance to get some snacks and some food to start the next, some tea to start the next part of the program. We're going to invite Brother Faiz to come again and share with us this time about his experiences and all the teachings that he learned at the feet, the lotus feet of Bhagawan Baba over the last 30 years. So we're looking forward to hearing from him again. Please give him a round of applause.
I offer my most loving and humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of my dear Mother Sai, Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba, embodiments of the divine Atma, embodiments of divine love, loving Sairams to one and all. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad, lam yulid walam yulad, walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. I begin in the name of Sai Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Brothers and sisters, it has been an extreme honor, a privilege, an inspiration, and joy to witness what the wonderful SSE children have just done. And I think they deserve a thunderous round of applause. And the dedicated, committed set of SSE teachers deserve an even greater round of applause. I am so moved. I feel I don't have to say anything. The children have inspired us all with such powerful, value-based messages. They have touched our hearts, and it will never remain like this for a long time. So I really want to compliment you all. And I have requested a video of this particular play because I want to take it back to Trinidad and show it on national television. The universal messages that it contains, we need to spread to every nook and cranny so that so many people can be inspired. The dialogue with the world leaders, oh my God, was amazing. The dialogue of Krishna and Arjuna, the beautiful message of the two cents. Wow, tremendous. So I want to start this little message with a joke. See, there was a young adult once who wanted to fool God. So he came face to face with God and he said, God, how much is $1 worth in heaven? And God said, $1 is worth $1 million. And then he said, God, how much is 1 second worth in heaven? And God said, 1 second is worth 1,000,000 years. So the young adult paused and he said, God, can I have $1? And God paused a while and said, can you wait 1 second? See, a rickshaw driver and a priest died and went to heaven. So the gatekeeper questioned the priest, what did you do in your life? He said, I preached the gospel of Jesus Christ all over the world and I brought millions into the fold. The gatekeeper pointed at an old broken down house that had termites and he said, you go and live there. Unwillingly and very angrily he went. Then he asked the rickshaw driver, what did you do in your life? He said, I was a simple rickshaw driver in Mumbai, transporting people here and there and taking their groceries with them. He said, that beautiful mansion with servants and gold-plated taps and doors, you go and live there. So the priest got very angry. He said, I preach the word of God all over the world and you send me in this old broken down house. And all he did was transport people here, there. How come? He said, the gatekeeper said, you see, while you were preaching, people were sleeping. And while he was driving, people was praying. Brothers and sisters, I want to continue in the light of the message of the children today. Today we are celebrating the 94th birth anniversary of the avatar of the age, Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. And how should we really celebrate the birth of an avatar? Well, he himself has given the way we should celebrate his birthday. He says, the day you ascribe as the date of my birthday is not really the day you should celebrate as my birthday. He said, I do not accost one particular date in the calendar as my birthday. For I consider the day divinity blossoms in your heart as the day you should celebrate my birthday. The day you resolve to practice my advice, to follow my directives, and to translate my message into acts of service, and to engage yourselves in sadhana, that day will be my birthday for you. The day of the 23rd of November that you now celebrate becomes any ordinary day if you do nothing on that day. So brothers and sisters, it's the day divinity blossoms in your heart that we should celebrate as Swami's birthday. He says, I have a task to foster all mankind and ensure for all of them lives full of ananda. I have a vow to lead all who stray from the straight and narrow path again into goodness and save them. I am attached to a work that I love, to remove the misery of the poor and grant them what they lack. I have a reason to be proud, to rescue all who worship and adore me aright. I have a definition of the devotion I expect, that those devoted to me should treat gain and loss with equal fortitude. That means I will never give up those who attach themselves to me. This magnificent avatar further tells us, I have come to inscribe a golden chapter in the history of humanity, wherein falsehood will fail, truth will triumph, and virtue will reign. Character will confer power then, not knowledge or inventive skill or wealth. Wisdom will be enthroned in the councils of nations. Swami says, if a wave of service, if it sweeps over the land, catching everyone in its enthusiasm, it will be able to wipe off the mounds of hatred, greed, and malice that infest the world. He says, wherever you see a sick person, a dispirited, disconsolate, diseased person, there is your field of service. Every blood cell, every nerve should tingle with love and the desire to share that love with the fallen. When love fills the heart, it becomes transformed, for God is love and love is God. So brothers and sisters, on this very, very auspicious occasion, what can we give back to the Lord who has given us so much? Of all the acquisitions that a spiritual aspirant can acquire in any one life, Swami says, the most important, the most valuable of all is a good character. And when you look at the life of Bhagawan, look at his miracles. He has materialized vibhuti for hundreds. He's multiplied food. He has brought the dead back to life. He has been seen in more than one place at a time. He can speak any language. He's materialized surgical instruments to perform operations. He has manifested straight rainbows for doubting devotees. But yet he says that my greatest miracle is the miracle of inner transformation, when people are touched by his most powerful weapon, and that is divine love. Brothers and sisters, character is really the most important acquisition. It is the greatest gift that we can offer to Swami on his birthday. See, Swami says, if you lose wealth, you can always earn more. If you lose property, you can purchase another. He says, if even you lose your wife, you can remarry. But when you lose character, everything is lost. Politics without principles, education without character, science without humanity, business without morality is not only useless, he says, but positively dangerous. These are Swami's own words on character. He says, one may be well versed in many branches of secular learning. One may have gained mastery over many worldly skills. One may occupy exalted positions of power and authority. One may have at one's command enormous wealth. But if one is not endowed with an impeccable character, which is the greatest of life's possessions, one can forfeit in a trice all the achievements derived from all acquisitions. Bhagawan warns us, a person devoid of virtue is no better than a mere brute. Character is man's richest ornament, and conduct his real treasure. Swami further states, it is often declared that knowledge is power. He said, no, character is power. Nothing can be more powerful than one's character. Riches, property, academic excellence are all frail and flimsy before it. He says, look at the saints and sages, the godmen of yesteryear, Ramakrishna, Jesus the Christ, the Prophet Muhammad. Why are they being treasured in the memory of man long after they have left the face of the earth? Swami says, I say to you, it is the character of each one of them. So brothers and sisters, this is the acquisition that we should be striving for. And as Swami said, I don't want you to be near to me. I want you to be dear to me. And when we develop characters of good conduct and love, we become dear to Swami. See, in the SSE play, there was another powerful message. Brothers and sisters, how can we change the world? This is a very, very pertinent statement, but the answer lies in the Avatar's teachings in this beautiful verse of his when he says, if there is righteousness in the heart, there will be beauty in the character. When there's beauty in the character, there will be harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there will be order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there will be peace in the world. As the Christian hymn says, if there be peace in the world, let it begin with me. So brothers and sisters, we must ask ourselves, because at the end of the day, you cannot change anyone. You can only change yourself. So the question is, what can I do to create a better society? What can I contribute to make the world a better place? And never ever feel that what you're doing is insignificant, that it would not matter. If you take the tiniest of pebbles and drop it in a cup of water, you will have the tiniest of ripples. And if you multiply that by millions, then you can have waves of transformation taking place. So ask yourself, what can I do to create a better society? What contribution can I make? And Swami says it starts with good thoughts. In the Western canteen in Puttaparthi, there's this verse, dust if you think you are, you are. God, if you think you are, you are. Whatever you think you become. The essence of developing a good character, Swami says, starts with thoughts. If you have good thoughts, because as a man thinketh, so is he. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe in, it will achieve. So if you change your thoughts, you could change your life. Change your thoughts, you could change your destiny. Change your thoughts, you can change your feeling. In fact, if you want to change anything in life, in yourself, you must first change your thoughts. So Swami says the first thing of developing a good character is that we must have good thoughts. What will then follow good thoughts is good actions. A series or an accumulation of good actions will produce good habits. And an accumulation of good habits will produce a good character. And a person with a good character can create their own destiny. Brothers and sisters, have you ever looked at the word habit? When I was going to school many, many years ago as a young adult, this word was shared with us as we were growing up to develop good habits, positive habits, beneficial habits. If you look at the letters HABIT, and you remove the H, you have a bit. If you remove the A, you have bit. If you remove the B, you still have it. That is how difficult it is to remove bad habits. So we must strive to develop good habits. And that is how character is formed. So how can each one of us contribute to creating a better society? Brothers and sisters, just by radiating good thoughts into the atmosphere, you are helping to nullify the negative ones. By performing good actions, doing good, being good, and seeing good is also a way of contributing to a better society. The Akan Bhajan that we just had throughout the world, where over 4,000 centers spread over 150 countries, spanning over 200 million members. Can you imagine the effect of that sadhana, of those beautiful vibrations discharging into the atmosphere and impacting and changing the cosmic vibrations? All of those things really bring about a peaceful society. So brothers and sisters, ask, as people say, ask not what America can do for you. Ask yourself, what can I do to create a better America? And then begin to do it. Brothers and sisters, as one of the children said here, there's too much talking and too little practice. Swami says when it comes to talking, many of us are heroes. When it comes to putting it into practice, we are zeros. So let your actions really speak. Let your conduct and behavior be your most powerful message. In fact, Swami once said that the most powerful influence a devotee can have to transform the world is to be a good example of his teachings. And Swami is the one who has walked the talk and lived his message. And his life is his message. I'd like to share a story of a student in Swami's ashram many years ago, where Baba says it does not matter the quantity of the seva you do, but it's the quality of the attitude and love that it is dealt with. There was a student going to Swami's college, and he had this tremendous desire and yearning to contribute to the building of the super specialty hospital, but he had no money. So he prayed to Swami, and this is the guidance that came. His parents used to send him money to give the dhobi for washing his clothes. And what he did for many months, he washed his clothes himself and saved paisa after paisa. And for many months, he then accumulated 100 rupees. He got a 100 rupee note, and one day he sat in his hostel and he wrote Swami a beautiful letter that, Bhagawan, I just want to make a small contribution towards the super specialty hospital. Because this is your hospital, Swami, and so many people will be healed by it. So he poured out his heart, he wrote this beautiful letter, put the 100 rupee note into the envelope, and he went for darshan that morning. And as Swami was passing, he stretched out the envelope, and Swami graciously, lovingly took the envelope and went into the interview room to grant an interview to some devotees. And then within a few minutes, Swami came out of the interview room just dangling the letter and the 100 rupee note. And Swami announced to all that this 100 rupee note is worth more to me than all the millions given to build the super specialty hospital. And it brought tears to the eyes of this simple student who gave very little but with a big heart. So brothers and sisters, sometimes it's the little things that we do with a big heart that touches our loving Lord. I'll share another story how important it is in terms of quality. You all know this singer Ajneesh Vishwa Rai Prasad. You've heard of him. Beautiful bhajan singer from Darjeeling. When he was going to school as well, they wanted to help in the contribution of building the hospital. So a group of students went to Swami and they pleaded with Bhagawan if they could take a few days off and go and physically help to construct the hospital. And Swami did not agree. He said, what would your parents think that you are coming to my university and I am giving you manual labor? But they insisted, and Swami allowed a group of students to go and work at the hospital. In the blistering heat, they were carrying buckets of cement from one place to another for at least 30 days. When they had finished, Swami called this batch of students to him one day. And Ajneesh was sitting right in front where the harmonium is, and Baba asked him to sing. But because his left hand became cramped because of holding the buckets of cement, he could not chord the harmonium. And Swami looked straight into his eyes and said, I will never forget you. So brothers and sisters, this is the love and the sincerity of how we can render genuine selfless service to him. And if we can all come together with a common purpose, with a simple mind and a loving heart, we can create miracles, as we have seen here today in this center, what these children are capable of. And devotees, I just want to share also what I think is important from Swami's perspective of how we can also create a better society. Because what I've seen here today is a wonderful example of it. If we go back to the 9-point code of conduct, the very first code of conduct is daily japa and meditation. How many of us really sit every day and do this daily japa and meditation? The 9-point code of conduct is structured in such a way that it is the individual first. Daily japa and meditation is to strengthen and bring about courage and inner strength for the individual. The second of the 9-point code of conduct is prayers with members of the family at least once per week. And then we go out into the community. So Swami has designed the 9-point code of conduct that there be individual transformation first, then family, and then the nation. And what I've seen here with the children can be fortified by us as parents. And I want to really emphasize the family satsang. Can I see a show of hands? How many of us do the family satsang? Not too many one time. So brothers and sisters, we shared in the beginning how important the family satsang is. This is an activity that brings parents and children closer together. We said that the family that prays together stays together. And we also identified at the beginning how important that family satsang is. And I really, really want to stress the importance of it, because so many good things come out of that family satsang. As we said, your children learn universality. Your children learn the ability to deliver messages and build self-confidence. The child learns respect and adoration for the parents. The child learns to take a little time every day and go within and connect with his true divinity. And what happens there, brothers and sisters, is that the family unit becomes very, very strong. And if we have a strong family unit, you're going to have a strong society, because everything starts in the home. So I want to make a special appeal to you all this evening, that as we celebrate Swami's 94th birth anniversary, why don't we make a pledge in this center that each family can take a little time every week and do the family satsang. Just try it once and see what benefits can accrue to you. I shared with you what happened in our home as I was growing up with the kids, that every single Sunday we would have the family satsang. And then after that we will have a little parliamentary discussion, and that is what brought our children closer and closer together. And I'll share an experience with you to show you that those human values in the home and in the SSC, they remain ingrained in the personality of the children and affect them in their later years. My eldest daughter went to the University of Waterloo, and one day she sends me a picture with 400 tins of food. It was Halloween time, and normally the kids will go from house to house and collect chocolates and so on. But Amrita took a group of university friends, and instead of collecting chocolates, she collected tins of food. And they collected 400 tins of food and then gave it to a nearby shelter to prepare for the homeless and the hungry. Brothers and sisters, this is as a product of Bal Vikas and SSC. Because in our home, what we used to do once a month, the whole family will come together and prepare sandwiches. The children will get involved. And then we will go and help distribute it with the children themselves, giving it to the poor, the needy, and the hungry. So they grew with these human values. And now they can apply it in their daily lives. So brothers and sisters, I really want to appeal, let us start that family satsang, and you will see tremendous benefits. Not only that, because our children were given the chance to express themselves lovingly and respectfully, now when they have any difficulty or problems, they will come with us without any hesitation or fear. And this would help build good families in our centers. Brothers and sisters, I want to take just a few minutes now and share a little bit of my journey, as some of you all have requested. In Trinidad, I was born in a Muslim home in the southern part of the country. At the age of 16, I started searching for God. I started reading books on the power of positive thinking, books written by Norman Vincent Peale and Harold Sherman. But I didn't find the answers there because they dabbled only with the mind. And I found that spirituality went beyond the mind. And then I gravitated to studying some of the Hindu saints, like Ramakrishna Paramahansa, Paramahansa Yogananda, Ramana Maharishi, Gurdjieff or Ouspensky, and some of the Muslim Sufis, Jalaluddin Rumi and Imam Ghazali. And there I found a really deep connection with those wonderful saints. And I began to feel that this is really where I wanted to feel the connection. Because when you read one line, such is the bhakti he had towards the Divine Mother. When I finished education, secondary school, I did not know what to do at age 16. So I used to visit the mosque in my village and spend many, many days. And then one fine day, I meet a good brother living next door. He was the Imam's son, 15 years older than myself. And he and I became very good friends, and we used to talk and discuss about God and spirituality until the wee hours of the morning. Beautiful spiritual discussions. And then one day, after 2 years, he brings a book for me, and he says, Faiz, I want you to read this book. When I look on the cover of the book, I see this Afro-head looking guy, and I said, who is this? And very emphatically he says, this is God in human form. And immediately I blurted out, you must be mad. How can you call him God? He's a mere mortal. Then he said, Faiz, read this book with an open mind. And so I took Satyam Shivam Sundaram home. And as I read the very first chapter, I was so attracted to the teachings, I read the entire book in one sitting. And then I started to read more and more of Sai Baba. But amidst the divine attraction devotees, there was a big conflict. You see, in Islam, God is formless. So there are no murtis or pictures in the mosque. And here is Sai Baba saying in this book, I am God. And I said, my God, that is blasphemy in Islam. I could be shot. So I couldn't reconcile this, and I wrestled with this confusion, with this doubt for many, many days. I kept praying to Almighty Allah to show me what this truth is. I sought out one or two Muslims in Trinidad, and I had discussions with them as to how they were able to bridge the gap with formless and form. And then after the confusion persisted for many, many weeks, I went back into the mosque. And I decided to pray to the only true God I knew, Allah. I prayed to Almighty Allah to show me the truth as to who Sai Baba really is. And then I was guided back into the Holy Quran. In the Holy Quran, Allah says, Allah is closer to you than your jugular vein. That means He is within. The Holy Prophet Muhammad, upon whom be peace, once said, he who knows himself knows God. But the verse that really got to me was one of the declaration of faith. In Islam, there are 5 cardinal principles. 1, daily namaz or prayers 5 times a day. 2, zakat or charity. 3, engaging in the holy month of Ramadan, the month of fasting for 30 days. 4, at least once in one's lifetime, you're supposed to make the pilgrimage to Mecca. And the 5th one is the declaration of faith. If you're a Muslim, you are supposed to declare, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. The orthodox translation of that is that there is no God but Allah, and the Holy Prophet Muhammad is his messenger. But the mystical men of Islam, the Sufis, interprets the same verse, not that there is no God but Allah, but that there is nothing but Allah. And that's a big difference. And so my doubts were being removed. And after spending 2 years in Trinidad, going to Sai Baba's satsangs, reading, discussing, I decided now I had to go and see for myself. So in 1981, Swami issued an invitation to all overseas Balvikas gurus to come to Puttaparthi for the first training course. A group of us arrived on the morning of Guru Purnima, and we were ushered quickly into the Purnachandra hall because Swami was about to come out. There were thousands packed in the Purnachandra hall, and we were sitting at the back. And then after a few minutes, there was a hush and a silence in the crowd. And I see this curtain move. And this little 5-foot form dressed in an orange gown is just floating across the stage. And I feel an immediate connection. And then for the next 30 days, with every vibhuti, every discourse, every darshan, the doubts of who he was were slowly being removed. And then after some time, I heard that Sai Baba built a mosque in Puttaparthi. And my heart leapt in joy. I wanted to see this mosque that Sai Baba has built. I went into the mosque and did namaz and inquired, how did this mosque come to be built? And there's a beautiful story of compassion. The Muslims had to trek 7 miles in the blistering heat to the village of Bukapatnam to the nearest mosque. During the holy month of Ramadan, this could be as much as 5 times daily. Out of Swami's love and compassion for the Muslim community, a mosque of architectural brilliance was built by Swami. And in October 1977, Swami invited all the Muslims in the village, together with others, to open and to commemorate the mosque. With a gentle wave of his hand, he materialized pendants with Arabic inscriptions and gave the mosque board members, because again in Islam there are no forms. Swami then gave a most powerful, deeply moving discourse where he said that the Holy Quran was revealed directly from Allah to the Holy Prophet Muhammad, just like the Vedas were revealed directly from God to man, and that anyone who practices the principles and tenets contained in the Quran can gain liberation. Then Swami exhorted. He said, no religion exhorts violence. All propagate love for God and service to humanity. Then there was a beautiful story that was shared. On the day of the Holy Prophet Muhammad's birthday in Whitefield once, a group of Muslims were there, and Swami granted them an interview. And during the course of the interview, Swami stretched out his palm, and there, appearing live and moving in the middle of his palm, was the Holy Kaaba, with millions of pilgrims circumambulating the Kaaba. And Babu told them, I have called you here today because I and the Holy Prophet Muhammad are one. Swami again, in a divine discourse, he defined what Islam means. He said, I-S-L-A-M. It means, I shall love all mankind. Today and many years before, Swami's students would enact beautiful plays on the Holy Quran and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad to celebrate Eid in the ashram. And so, devotees, that is how I started to revere this great humanitarian, someone that I see now as the self-same Allah in human form. And why I gravitated more than anything else to Bhagawan was the universality of his message. Here was a divine master not telling you that my way is the best, or collecting funds or propagating himself. Here was a divine master telling you that if you're a Muslim, be a good Muslim. If you're a Christian, be a good Christian. If you're a Hindu, be a good Hindu. Here was a divine master just saying, love all, serve all, help ever, hurt never. Service to man is service to God. And I said, wow, what a beautiful message. And that is what I was captivated with. And I don't think there's any other organization in the world other than the Sai Baba organization where people from all ethnic backgrounds, all religious belief can come under one divine umbrella with the same love and conviction and praying to God in all his different manifestations. It is a lesson to the world with Sri Sathya Sai Baba and the universality of his message, as the Sarva Dharma so beautifully depicts. So brothers and sisters, we are really, really lucky to be under his umbrella of guidance. I share now just one or two personal experiences. In 1983, when I was just 23 years old, there's a public holiday in Trinidad called Labor Day. It's the 19th of June every year. And the night before, we sang bhajans at a devotee's home. And because the next day was a holiday, we sang bhajans throughout the night. And in the early hours of the morning, I was transporting a few devotees back home when I got into a massive motor vehicle accident. A car coming in the opposite direction crashed into mine. So bad was the impact that the front of the car almost reached the windscreen. The windscreen spattered and the splinters went all over my face. The steering had hit me in my chest and I started to cough up blood, and then I passed out. When I awoke, I was in the hospital and the old devotees were pouring tulsi water in my mouth, thinking that Brother Faiz will not live because I did not recover consciously. Then after some time, I did recover. And the most amazing thing is I felt absolutely no pain. And after 3 days, I was discharged from the hospital, and through my mother's loving care, I got better. In October of that same year, 1983, 45 pilgrims from Trinidad went to Puttaparthi, and I get my first interview with Sai Baba. I was sitting just 2 feet away from where he sat. And as the perfect host, he would put on the fan, materialize the vibhuti, and then he sat in his chair and he looked at me with so much love and he said, "It was I who saved you from this accident." Then Swami said, "You drive too fast. So all you fast drivers," he said, "start early, drive slowly, reach safely." But what do we do today? We start late. We drive at breakneck speed, and then we reach dead on time. Then with a gentle wave of his hand, because I was looking up, I actually see a pendant crystallize and form in his hand, and he holds it in his fingers. Thinking he was giving the devotee at the back of me, I bent my head, and Swami said, No, you. Then I stretched out my palm, and he drops a silver pendant in my hand. And then he takes a group into the inner interview room. Then everybody is saying, "Brother Faiz, please show us. As I was doing so, less than 30 seconds, Swami comes back out of the inner interview room and he does like this. No exhibition. Then one elderly gentleman asks Swami this question. He got up and he said, "Swami, don't you think we should get Brother Faiz married?" I said, "Swami, no, you have to understand, at 23, I was searching since I was 16. Now I found my divine master, my guru. My preoccupation now was just to follow the master, face the devil, fight to the end and win the game. Marriage was nowhere close to me." So when he got up and he said, "Swami, should we get Brother Faiz married?" I jumped up and I said, "Swami, the only way I will get married is if you choose the girl. Because marriage is serious business, isn't it?" Swami said, and these are his exact words. He said, "Nahi, nahi, nahi. Let parents decide and I will bless." From 1983 to 1991, it took 8 years for my mother to decide on one girl. But still, I wanted to make sure that this is the girl that God wants for me, not what I want. So I take a picture of the girl, I write a letter, and I journey back to Puttaparthi to get his approval. Not his blessings. Blessings and approval is different, devotees. Do you all know that? If you take a project in your hand and you ask Swami to bless it, he will say, yes, yes, I bless. It does not mean that he approves. See, blessings and approval is two different things. So I wanted to get Swami's approval that this is his will. Swami was then in Whitefield. I spent 2 weeks there, and every single darshan, Swami would ignore me. Every time I put the letter, he would pass me straight. I began to feel it was as if it is the Ignore Upanishad. The last darshan, I asked the Sevadal to sit in front, and I decided to challenge God himself. So I take the letter, and I prayed to Swami that day, and I said, Swami, if you take this letter from me today, I know you would approve of the contents. And if not, I'm on my royal and ancient highway to self-realization. So Swami starts to walk from the mandir. When he's 15 feet away from me, he suddenly stops. And then he turns around and he begins to walk back to the mandir. And then I start to smile to put away the letter. And then Swami turns around. He looks straight to where I am. And then instantly he's in front of me. And he just plucks the letter from my hand. I fall on his feet and he says, I bless, I bless, I bless. That was October 1991, devotees. In 1 month, I go back home and I get married. 24th of November 1991. Today is my 28th wedding anniversary. If you want liberation quickly, get married. Marriage accelerates one's liberation. Ask all the married guys. So I get married in Trinidad and Tobago. I invite the whole Sai organization. Over 1,000 devotees come. And so much money is spent. I had no money now. But I remember what Bhagawan said, let parents decide and I will bless. So I started to pray to Bhagawan that we want to come to get your blessing, Swami, but we have no money. See, in the early days, the first trip I made in 1981, I promised Bhagawan, I made a pledge that every year from then I would go to Puttaparthi. And when I didn't have enough money, I would sell my car and buy the ticket and then go. And then Swami would send a bigger car and then I would sell it the next year. So it was always like this. When I prayed to Swami, this miracle happened. Air India had a promotion for the last 3 months of that year. All the people who traveled to India from the Caribbean, they would put their names in a jar, and whichever name came out would win a free trip to India. And then I get a call from an Air India rep. Are you missing? I just want a free trip to India. And I said, Bhagwan, thank you, Lord. But marriage was very, very difficult for me, devotees. You see, first 31 years, it was only about I. Then wife came, so it had to move from I to we. And then when children came, it became we. So it was a movement in selfishness to selflessness. So my wife and I used to quarrel almost every day. You know, the understanding and adjustment period. We arrived in Prashanti Nilayam on the 16th or just before the 16th of December. So I was there in October. Swami gave the approval. We got married in November and now we're in Puttaparthi in December. On the 16th of December, Swami grants what I call the wedding interview. He takes us into the inner interview room and the first thing this avatar does, God never forgets his promises. 8 years ago, he had said, let parents decide and I will bless. He took the wedding rings, put it in his left hand and took his right hand and he said, I bless, I bless, I bless. And then Swami looked at me and he said, you, temper. Then he looked at my wife and said, you, hot. And then he takes his 2 fingers and he said, up, down, but always together. Then he gave a discourse on marriage. Here's what he said. Only don't get frightened. Marriage is 23 hours and 55 minutes of pain and 5 minutes of pleasure. First 2 years, wife nice. Next 2 years, wife is knife. So we guys have to welcome the cutting. He said WIFE. If you get a good wife, the W stands for wisdom invited forever. If you get a bad wife, is worries invited forever. But I see a lot of wise husbands here. So we have good wives, right? Then Swami got very serious and he turned around and looked at me and he said, how many children do you want? So I jumped up like a father and I said, Swami, I want a boy first. He said, why do you want boy? Girls are better. He said, girls take better care of parents. They have more love, more devotion. Then I said, Swami, let it be your will. He said, Acha, I give one boy, one girl. Then 2 girls came. Then in 1999, when I get another interview, I said, Swami, the last time you said you give one boy, one girl. Now 2 girls have come. And true Trinidadian style, he does like this. What can I do? And then he got very serious, looked straight into my eyes, and he said, I give very good children. Today, my 2 daughters are Marita Vani Khadija Mohammed, because I am Muslim, married to a Hindu, so the children have Sarva Dharma names. And the second child is Shivana Amina Mohammed. They are 25 and 26 years old. They've just completed their studies and they work in Toronto. And they are such ideal children because when I used to teach SSC, I would take them with me from a tender age. So they went through Bal Vikas SSC and young adults, and now they have their own destiny charted by Bhagawan himself. Brothers and sisters, I share with you quickly, how much time do I have? 10 minutes. Rishi, 10 minutes. So I shared this experience with the pendant. And then we'll talk a little bit about the Trinidad experience. On one of the trips, I took my mother with me because we used to take groups to Putta Party. And I learned so many lessons. Never take women to India because they want to buy the whole of India and put it in 2 suitcases. Anyhow, my mother wanted to go shopping. I don't know how many of you all know the Palika Bazaar in Delhi, the underground shopping area. We went there because the hotel was closed, so my mother told me, this is the first trip to India, take all the valuables with you, the pouch with the passport, the ticket, the money. I went with. She sees a kurta in one particular store and she asked me to try it on. So I rested the pouch on the counter and I forgot it. By the time we got to the 3rd store, I suddenly realized, where is the pouch? I frantically run back to all the stores. And all of the shopkeepers said, no, sir, we haven't seen it. Then my mother starts to quarrel. You know, when mothers quarrel, what happens? It was like a recurring mantra in my ear. You know, and then after a while, I said, okay, Ma. I went and I found a very quiet place and I held on to the pendant of Swami. And I began to pray, Om Shri Sairam, Om Shri Sairam, Om Shri Sairam, focusing on his form. And after 3 to 5 minutes, I get up. And as I was walking back to where my mother was, out of the hundreds of people milling around, I see a little boy, no more than 7 years old. He's dressed in immaculate white. And he's walking straight towards me. When he's a few feet away, I notice he has a little pouch in his hand. And he comes up and he said, Sir, did you lose this? And frantically, I took it and I opened and all the passport, ticket and money was there. And when I looked up, he disappeared. And I said, Swami, thank you for grace. Brothers and sisters, so I want to spend the next couple of minutes just to share with you a bit of the activities in Trinidad and Tobago. Can we dim the lights a little? So Trinidad and Tobago is a 5-hour flight from Newark. We have a population of 1.4 million people and we have approximately 45 Sai Baba centers spread over every village in the country. You can go to Sai Baba Satsang in Trinidad every day of the week. So if you want to get liberation quickly, we build a house every Sunday for a needy family in 2.5 hours. And we have radio and television programs. We have a Feeding the Homeless program that has been going on now for the last 1,000 consecutive nights. 400 to 600 meals per night. So let's share. And the inspiration that I saw this evening with your children in Trinidad, we now have 4 Sathya Sai Baba preschools, children from 3 to 5. And these schools are funded by the government of Trinidad and Tobago, something that is historic. We have over 120 students now where we teach Swami's human values. The government funds 90% of the expenditure. We became the only organization in the history of our country to have been given denominational status, which means that they fund 90% of the expenditure. And that is Swamis Grace. Next slide. So this is what is in our schools. Our school's founder, BHAGAWAN Sri Sathya Sai Baba. This child is a Down syndrome child going to one of our schools. And recently they had a poster competition on non-violence. And this child came first in the entire country. There, he's so happy he is. And that's the non-values poster right above his head. What does non-violence mean to me? Next. And these are the children in the preschools. That happens during the day. Devotees, 99.9% of the children going to the preschools are non-devotees. They are African, Chinese, Indians, but not connected to the organization. And these self-same children, what we found when we visit the parents, when these children go home, and they're about to eat meals, and the father or the mother starts to eat, they say, no, mommy. We have to say prayers before we eat. So the parents now have to change their behavior. When it's time to go to sleep, they sit and they want to do silent sitting, but the parents want to sleep and they say, no, mommy. We have to do silent sitting first. So the children are now changing the parents in their homes. And that is so wonderful. This is a project that we had, and this is part of our 95 community project for Swami's 95th birthday. And this is a school that we adopted in a very remote, poor village in the country. This day we did medical camps, counseling, and parenting programs. It's an ongoing seva that we did at this particular location. And here you see a picture of Christ, a picture of the Kaaba, and then Bhagwan himself. Always we strive to reflect Swami's universal message. Devotees, this is the Feeding and Homeless program. It started in 2016. This is a center in the middle of the heart of the busiest city in the country, where 400 to 600 meals have been provided every night for the last 1,000 nights. Close to 80,000 meals have been prepared. And these are devotees where they prepare the vegetables in the kitchen. Then they help cook. This lady is Miss Universe 1998, who came from Trinidad. And one day she came to the kitchen and was so inspired by what was happening. She now comes regularly and brings her son to take part. And devotees, I'll tell you what has happened here. Normally, we would have public education programs to create an awareness of Swami's teachings. But in Trinidad, the service projects we do is drawing people into the fold of Sai, because people can walk off the streets into the kitchen and help. And now we have people, doctors, lawyers, other organizations coming and being inspired by this Feeding the Homeless program, that they come now and they share with us. So now, after a few days or weeks, they will then begin to ask, well, who is behind all of this? Which organization is doing this wonderful work? And then we are able to share the message of Swami. So these are the boxes, 400 to 600 per night. And in the next slide, this is Dr. Reddy and Phil Goslin. They came to Trinidad last year, and we took them on the Feeding the Homeless program. This street, devotees, is considered one of the most dangerous streets in the country. It's infested with drug lords. And in fact, before we went on this street, we had to get permission from the drug lord. And when they heard that it is Sai Baba, they say, "Oh, Sai Baba is only love, please come." And that was the night we took Dr. Reddy and Phil Goslin. And what we really do, devotees, is that we don't really share food. We really share Swami's love. And I'll tell you the miracle that is happening with this seva. Because we do it every night, we now have created a bond with the homeless and the hungry on the street. And we've actually helped, through Bhagawan's grace, some of them to get jobs and become independent. So there's a bonding and a relationship of Swami's love there with them. In fact, many of them, when they bless, they said, "Oh, only God could have sent you all. Every day you all bring." The house building seva started in 2010. At the time of the preparation of this video, there were 265 houses built. We built approximately 40 per year. And just to give you an idea of how it is built, this is an old broken down house in Trinidad, and what the organization does first is that we do an assessment of the family to determine that there is a genuine need and that the land is unencumbered. This shot is taken from Dominica. A couple of years ago, Dominica had a hurricane that flattened the entire country. The Sai organization of Trinidad and Tobago, 108 members, went and we built 19 houses in 3 days, 6 per day, in some of the most precarious positions because it's a country that has a lot of hills. These are some of the shots in Haiti. Remember the earthquake in Haiti that killed 250,000 people. Swami gave permission to the Trinidad organization to go and build houses there. So these shots are some of the destruction that took place. So from that house I showed you, the broken down house, the next week we cast a foundation of concrete, 30 by 30 or 20 by 20, and we let it cure. The following week, about 40 to 50 young adults, this is a young adult project. Each one of them specializes in particular aspect of the house building. Some are on the roof, some are on the ground, some are painting, some are putting up the walls. And somebody can go to the market at 6 o'clock with the foundation day alone and come back 2.5 hours and see a finished house. This, 2.5 hours to complete. Devotees, it's fully furnished, it's burglar proofed, and then we cook hot meal and we give it to them. And what happens is that when the family in need, we don't show them the house. So they are kept away from the house. So they see nothing, and in 2.5 hours when they go into their home, they just break down and cry. And they said, "Only God can do this." And we tell them that this is your home now that God has provided. One of these houses, devotees, can cost between 50 to 20,000 US dollars, and we build 40 per year. People ask, where does the money come from? Swami says, if love is present and your intention is pure, He Himself will send the resources. This other project is where we take 120 visually impaired persons from an institution to the beach to spend a day of fun cheer and to take a sea bath. The young adults act as their guides on this particular day. And here, if you just keep it here, we have lifeguards that go into the ocean. We take a huge piece of rope and we make a circle in the sea. And then they have a beach bath that is so wonderful. And when we have to then take them back home, they also break down and cry and said, only the Sai Baba organization does this for them. So it's a joy for us to do this seva for them. And these are some shots with the visually impaired. Beloved devotees, the next few slides deals with 2 beautiful structures that Swami has given his approval for and that we built in Trinidad. This one is inaugurated on the 23rd of November 1996. It's a beautiful premises that houses a wonderful, beautiful hall. It has the preschool and a kitchen. The next slide. It can hold approximately 3,000 devotees. So when we have a national program, all the devotees, they can drive about 2 hours from any center and come to our national celebration here. And this is the front entrance. This is the entrance to drive in. This is the beautiful altar. Then Swami's chair. Baba's photo. And then this is the yard space. Then this is the Ishwarama Sai Center. Swami himself signed the photos when we took it to him. And Swami told us that he loved the garden in this center. Who is the gardener? So let's look at some shots with this. It's built along the line of the Mandir in Puttaparthi. So this is one of the entrances. This is the garden and the yard. This is the altar and the building inside. What is unique about this structure, if we go through some more slides. Beloved devotees, this stupa was built by the self-same devotee who built the one in Puttaparthi. A group of them came to Trinidad and spent 3 months and built this magnificent stupa, the Ishwarama Sai Center, that towers into the village about universality. And this is the Sathya Sai preschool that is about to open. And this is one of the entrances. This is the beautiful altar. So I think these are the end of the slides. So, can we have the lights? I really want to thank the organizers for giving us this opportunity to share and to receive the love of Mother Sai. And I want to just sing one bhajan and bring this message to an end. This is a bhajan that I learned in Trinidad, the very first one, and it is dum 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 dum, but it has a local flavor. It's a little bit different to how we sing it traditionally, so bear with me. And I know Rishi with his magical hands on the tabla will lend justice to it. So please join me as we bring this wonderful message to an end. Dum 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 rupaje. Dum 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 rupaje. Bholenath Shiva Damarupaje Hare Hare Bholenath Shiva Damarupaje Hare Sai-nath Shiva Shambho Bhaje
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 Shiva 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 Damaru 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 Bhaje
Bholenath Shiva Damaru Bhaje
Hare Bholenath Shiva Shambho Bhaje
Hare Sai-nath Shiva Shambho Bhaje
Hare Sai-nath Shiva Shambho Bhaje
Dum 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 Damaru Bhaje
Dum 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 Damaru Bhaje
Dum 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 Damaru Bhaje
Dum 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 Damaru Bhaje
Bholenath Shiva Damaru Bhaje
Hare Bholenath Shiva Shambho Bhaje
Hare Sai-nath Shiva Shambho Bhaje
Hare Sai-nath Shiva Shambho Bhaje
Shiva 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 Damaru Bhaje
Shiva 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 Damaru Bhaje
Baba Damaru Bhaje
Baba Damaru Bhaje
Sai Damaru Bhaje
Sai Damaru Bhaje
Shiva 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 Damaru
बजे
शिव 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 डमरू बजे
भोलेनाथ शिव डमरू बजे
हरे भोलेनाथ
शिव शंभो भजे
हरे साईनाथ शिव शंभो बजे
हरे साईनाथ शिव शंभो भजे
Dum 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 डमरू बजे भोलेनाथ शिव शंभो बजे. May Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba continue to bless and guide each and every one of us. And as we continue to aspire on the spiritual path, let our fervent and heartfelt prayer be that we will ceaselessly strive to be wonderful examples of His divine love. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Faiz, for such inspiring words and connecting us to Baba in a very unique way, full of fun and laughter, and yet reminding us his message of transformation to achieve a good character. We really love the topic, character, because we all struggle in our daily lives to achieve to have a good character and yet to know the and yet to live with the Swami words. We know the word watch. You have explained us beautifully and elaborated and inspired us to dwell upon what I can do. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your stories, your projects. I think everyone here would take the messages that you have given us and incorporate it in our daily lives. I now request Jagannathan uncle to give token of love to Brother Faiz. I request Brother Rishi to do the vote of thanks.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I offer myself at the divine lotus feet of our Guru, God, and best friend, Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. Once again, Swami, happy birthday to you. Happy 94th birthday, and happy birthday to all of us present here. What an evening it has been, starting off with a wonderful talk and fun-filled class with Uncle Faiz Muhammad with the SSC children, followed by the spellbinding SSC play. Why don't we give another round of applause for all the hard work that the children and adults have put into this beautiful production. And then once again, we were enlightened by Uncle Faiz's talk once more, really hitting home Swami's messages on love, service, and compassion towards all of us. And now that we've taken these messages of love and service into our hearts and minds, we will offer that love back to Swami in the form of a musical offering that is to come by our center members present here. An event like this is impossible to pull off without the support of countless volunteers, center members, and support from many well-wishers around this area. While if we were to thank every person, this vote of thanks would go on for quite a long time, and I know we're all waiting for the beautiful music program and dinner, which is to follow. So just to quickly thank a few folks. First off, the venue, the Boulevard, thank you for providing us for this wonderful facility and being so flexible with time and setup and everything that we've had here. And on that note, to also Auntie Sai Lakshmi Rao and the North Bergen municipality for helping us get this venue. As I always like to joke around, no bhajan is complete without bhojan, so thank you to the food team and the service team for all the wonderful food that we've enjoyed and we will be enjoying after the music offering. Fellow members of the altar team and decorations, thank you all for your support and creating this. Swami is, the resident of our hearts, and so what we see here is the physical manifestation of our heart in front of us. And of course, apologies if forgot anybody, but thank you to everyone, all of you who came. Without all the attendees and all the center members, a program like this just doesn't happen. And so thank you to all of you, all the fellow center officers, the regional officers for their support, and all of you. And of course, once again, to the birthday boy, our best friend, Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba, for his constant love, guidance, grace, and presence amongst us at all times. And so with that, back to the MC. Just a few housekeeping notes. As I mentioned, after the musical offering, we'll have a group bhajan medley requesting all of you to follow along on the screens and sing along in one voice, after which there'll be cake cutting, Maha Mangala Arti, and dinner. And next week, on Saturday, November 30th, we will be having a offering of 94 bhajans. The fun doesn't end here. So Swami's birthday celebrations will continue for one more week with an offering of 94 bhajans at the North Bergen Senior Citizens Community Center. We'll be sending, we've sent out the flyer. We'll remind you again with the details. Bhajan sign up is still open. We have a lot of spots open. So bhajan sign up will be closing tomorrow, so everybody do go online and sign up to sing next week. And with that, back to the MCs for the rest of our program. Saira.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Welcome to this celebration of love, this Prema Vaibhavam, celebrating 94 years of pure, selfless and divine love. God is beyond the past, present, future and all spatial dimensions. Yet, when God Almighty decided to bless the earth with His physical presence, He chose this beautiful date of November 23rd, 1926 at 5:06 a.m. in the tiny village of Puttaparthi. When the cosmic consciousness that is beyond every form but present in all forms decided to manifest in flesh and blood to encase himself in a human frame, he chose the beautiful and abetic form of Bhagawan Shri Sathya Sai Baba. That is the mercy, the compassion of the Lord Supreme on all of us. Today, let us offer our love, gratitude to this Lord who means everything to us, who continues to shower His love, presence and grace at all times. Bhagawan is beyond the beginnings at the end. His true birthday is the day we realize the innate divinity within us. Yet we take this opportunity to celebrate the fortune of living on this planet as a contemporaries of the avatar of the age. Swami, on the occasion of your 94th birthday, we offer you a garland of birthday songs, glorifying the most auspicious day on which you descended for the ascent of all mankind.
Om Shri Sai Ram, requesting everyone to maintain silence as we behold the presence of our beloved Lord through this musical offering. Requesting all once again to maintain complete silence. Sai Ram.
పుట్టుటయే ఎరుంగని ప్రభుండవు పుట్టుటయే ఎరుంగని ప్రభుండవు పుట్టుటయే స్వామి నీ పుట్టుట మాపై కరుణ పుట్టుట కాదే మహానుభావా
నీ పుట్టిన రోజు వేదములు పుట్టిన రోజు ప్రశాంతి ధాత్రి కాల్వెట్టిన రోజు ప్రేమ సుఖ పెట్టిన రోజు ప్రేమ సుఖ పెట్టిన రోజు సత్య సాయి సమస్త విశ్వమున్ సత్య సాయి సమస్త విశ్వమున్ భగవానుడు
పుట్టిన పండుగ పరమశివుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ జగదీశ్వరి సత్య సాయి జగదీశ్వరి పుట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ పరమశివుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ జగదీశ్వరి సత్య సాయి జగదీశ్వరి పుట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ
అక్షయమగు కార్మిక కౌముని ఆత్మల చోగొట్టిన పండుగ
పురుషకార
బ్రాహ్మి ముహూర్తం పూర్విని సుఖ పెట్టిన పండుగ
అక్షయమగు కార్మిక కౌముని ఆత్మల చోగొట్టిన పండుగ పురుషకార బ్రాహ్మి ముహూర్తం పూర్విని సుఖ పెట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ పరమశివుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ జగదీశ్వరి సత్య సాయి జగదీశ్వరి పుట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ ఈశ్వరామణి
విశ్వం జయ
పెట్టిన పండుగ హరికి
యశోదా కౌసల్యల హర్షం వినుముట్టిన పండుగ
ఈశ్వరామణి
హర్షం వినుముట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ
పరమశివుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ జగదీశ్వరి సత్య సాయి
జగదీశ్వరి మెట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు
పుట్టిన పండుగ
గణముల విజయ భేరి
పుట్టిన పండుగ
విశ్వాసం వేద సవేత్రికి వెళ్ళగొడుగు పట్టిన పండుగ విబుధ గణం గగనా గణముల విజయ భేరి పుట్టిన పండుగ విశ్వాసం వేద సవేత్రికి వెళ్ళగొడుగు పట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ
పరమశివుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ జగదీశ్వరి సత్య సాయి జగదీశ్వరి
పుట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు
పుట్టిన పండుగ
మనుజుని శీర్షంపై దేవుడు
మణిమకుటం పెట్టిన పండుగ
భారతినలు దిక్కుల మంగళ తోరణాలు కట్టిన పండుగ మనుజుని శీర్షంపై దేవుడు మణిమకుటం పెట్టిన పండుగ భారతినలు దిక్కుల మంగళ తోరణాలు కట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు
పుట్టిన పండుగ పరమశివుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ
జగదీశ్వరి సత్య సాయి జగదీశ్వరి మెట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ సత్య ధర్మ శాంతి ప్రేమల జనుల మీరు కొలిపిన పండుగ దేశరోషముల దూరంగా వించిన పండుగ సత్య ధర్మ శాంతి ప్రేమల జనుల మీరు కొలిపిన పండుగ కాఠిన్యం ద్వేషరోషమున దూరంగా వించిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ పరమశివుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ జగదీశ్వరి సత్య సాయి జగదీశ్వరి మెట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ తత్వమై దీనుల చేపట్టిన పండుగ దైవం అవతారము దానిచి ధర్మం నిలబెట్టిన పండుగ తత్వమై దీనుల చేపట్టిన పండుగ దైవం అవతారము దానిచి ధర్మం నిలబెట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ పరమశివుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ జగదీశ్వరి సత్య సాయి జగదీశ్వరి మెట్టిన పండుగ
భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ పరమశివుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ జగదీశ్వరి సత్య సాయి జగదీశ్వరి పుట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ భగవానుడు పుట్టిన పండుగ. आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा, आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा, 30 नवंबर को जने है साई मेरे चमका है जीवन सितारा हमारा. आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा, आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा, 30 नवंबर को जने है साई मेरे चमका है जीवन सितारा हमारा. आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा. नवंबर का महीना है पावन, करेंगे साई भजनों का गायन. इस धरती पे भगवान आए, उन्हें कहते हैं साई नारायण. तेरे झूलने की डोरी को थामेंगे, तेरे झूलने की डोरी को थामेंगे, धीरे झूलेंगे साई हमारा. आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा. सच्चे सेवक मेरे साई बाबा, तुमने प्यासों को पानी पिलाया. लोग बूंद बूंद पानी को कैसे वहाँ गंगा सा पानी बहाया. साई प्रेम से बढ़कर कोई प्रेम नहीं, साई प्रेम से बढ़कर कोई प्रेम नहीं. प्रेमामृत की बहती है धारा. आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा, आया सारी दुनिया की आंखें हैं तरसी, कैसा है तेरा जन्मदिन. देशी परदेशी लोग पथियाए, अपने साई को देंगे बधाई. साई की लीला का पारावार नहीं, साई की लीला का पारावार नहीं. तेरा पलकी में देखा नजारा. आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा, आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा. 30 नवंबर को जन्मे है साई मेरे चमका है जीवन सितारा. आया जन्मदिन तुम्हारा. Happy birthday to you, 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 Sai Baba. Happy birthday to you, 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 Sai Baba. Happy birthday to you, 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 Sai Baba. Happy birthday to you, Sai Baba. Happy birthday to you, Sai Baba.
raggio d'Oriente, perso nell'India del Sud, venne a stupire la gente, accadde un miracolo tu. Osanna nell'alto dei cieli, Osanna nel cuore di chi ha tanto aspettato, sognato, invocato, e adesso sa che tu sei qui. Luce del mondo, la terra esulta perché oggi è un gran giorno. Buon compleanno a te, re dei re. Buon compleanno a te. Buon compleanno a te, re dei re. Buon compleanno a te. Mille di questi giorni, oh Signore, mentre cammini vivo tra noi. Grazie per questo raggio di sole, grazie per tutto quello che dai. Osanna nell'alto dei cieli, Osanna nel cuore di chi ha tanto aspettato, sognato, invocato, e adesso sa che tu sei qui. Luce del mondo, la terra esulta perché oggi è un gran giorno. Buon compleanno a te, re dei re. Buon compleanno a te. Buon compleanno a te, re dei re. Buon compleanno a te. Buon compleanno a te, re dei re. Buon compleanno a te.
ജന്മദിനം ഇത് പുണ്യദിനം കൊണ്ടാടും ദിനം ജന്മദിനം ഇത് പുണ്യദിനം കൊണ്ടാടും ദിനം ബാബാ പിറந்த പുണ്യദിനം നം ബാബാ പിറந்த പുണ്യദിനം ഇത് തിരുനാൾ വരം തരുണാൽ இதயம் ബാബா என்று சொல்லுதே சொல்லுதே Sai Jayanti, Sai Jayanti, Sathya Jayanti, Sathya Jayanti, Sai Jayanti, Sathya Jayanti, Varangal Varangal Prabhu Darshanam Varve Varve Jaya Jayati, Sai Namah Garisa, Gari Gari Riga Maga Gama Pama Pani Pa, Sani Sa Magava Nidani Gari Ga Pama Pa Gari Sa, Sani Sa Magava Nidani Gari Ga Pama Pa Gari Sa, Sani Sa Gari Riga Gama Pama Nani Pa, Nini 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 Pa, Sa Sa Nini Pa, Ga Ga Gari Nini Nini Ni Sa, Baba Nani Sa, Nani Sa, Nani Sa, Nani Sa, Nani Sa. Ayira Nama Kalama Tugar Maayira Kavinyar Gorigam Bodare, Aandavar Karupadi Enge Enge Prashanti Nilo Bande, Jaya Sai Tiranamati Solvan Archanigal Aradhanigal, Janmadinam Idu Punyadinam Kondadudinam, Janmadinam Idu Punyadinam Kondadudinam. Baba Piranda Punya Dinam Nam Baba Piranda Punya Dinam Idu Tirunal Varam Tarunal Idayam Baba Endre Sollude Sollude Janmadinam Idu Punya Dinam Kondadum Dinam Janmadinam Idu Punya Dinam Kondadum Dinam Janmadinam Idu Punya Dinam Kondadum
Today, everywhere that I look, I hear talk or see written in some book that these are our last days. We're living in the end time. Prophets of doom are spreading more fear in a climate of hatred, apathy, and despair. It doesn't make much sense. Don't they have something better than fear to dispense? But like a calm in the midst of a hurricane, you're a refuge to those who repeat your name. You give hope to those who've been so despaired. You send love to all and take away all fear. And so today we celebrate the birth of Sathya's son. Come on and celebrate the birth of Sathya's son. Everybody celebrate the birth of Sathya's son in our lives. Yes, today I want to celebrate the birth of love and hope for the death of hate. And the knowledge that the best is yet to come. Oh yes, come to teach us that it is time to realize we're embodiments of the divine. You've always said it so, and you're here to let us know we are one. Sigh like the calm of a hurricane. You're a refuge to those who repeat your name. You give hope to those with so despair. You send love to all and take away all fear. And so today we celebrate the birth of Sathya's son. Come on and celebrate the birth of Sathya's son. Everybody celebrate the birth of Sathya's son in our lives. of Sathya Sai. All celebrate the birth of Sathya Sai. Everybody celebrate the birth of Sathya Sai in our lives. प्रगट थया प्रभु पर्तिनागाम रे ईश्वरमा वैकमतात नाम रे दक्षिण देशमा धर्यो अवतार रे तेवीस तारीख नवंबर मास तेरा वो जोशी ने पूछा वो नाम रे नाम धर्यो रूडो सत्यनारायण रे रूडो शोभे अति बालोड़े सुंदर भोरा माथे मोटा केशरी हरखे झुलावे अम्मा दूध साकर पाय रे माता ने मन जाने वेला मोटा थाय रे रड़ता रमाड़ता पारणी प्रभु जगना आधार रे प्रेमानंद नित्य रवि लीला गाय प्रेमानंद नित्य नवी लीला गाय तुम्हारा
जन्म दिवस है परब्रह्म अवतारे सारी सृष्टि मंगल गाए जय साई शुभकारी आज तुम्हारा जन्म दिवस है
परब्रह्म जय साई शुभकारी निराकार ने आज रूप साकार लिया धरती पर भारत भाग्य विधाता कहलाया है पुट पड़ती अंबर नाचे सब तुम पर बलिहारी सारी सृष्टि मंगल गाए जय साई शुभकारी कब से आस लगाए थे साई लेंगे अवतार। भक्तों के लगाए थे साई लेंगे अवतार।
भक्तों के सब पाप कटेंगे, पहुँचेंगे भव पार। मिल गए साई में शिव शक्ति और सिया राम के भाई। सारी सृष्टि मंगल गाए, जय साई शुभकारी।
To you.
स्वर्गलोक से पुष्पों की वर्षा होने की है।
स्वर्गलोक से पुष्पों की वर्षा है होने की है।
साई के दर्शन से
भक्तों ने आके भर ली है।
एक झलक साई की कर दी जीवन मंगलकारी। सारी सृष्टि मंगल गाए,
जय साई शुभकारी। Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
आज की रात निराली है, उसे मत पूछो। आज की बात निराली है, उसे मत पूछो।
जिस तरह झूल रहे हैं मेरे सरकार यहाँ, दिल के झूले में बिठाओ, वो झूला कर तो देखो।
बोलिए इससे भी प्यारी कोई रात आई है, मेरे बाबा की आज सालगिरह आई है। हर तरफ एक महकी सी फिजा छाई है, जानते हो कि नहीं सालगिरह आई है।
हर तरफ
सुनो, दुनिया वालों सुनो, मेरे बाबा की आज सालगिरह आई है, हर तरफ एक महकी सी फिजा छाई है, जानते हो कि नहीं सालगिरह आई है। चांद हंसता है, सितारे भी मुस्कुराते हैं, आसमां पर ये नए रंग बिखर जाते हैं। चांद हंसता है, सितारे भी मुस्कुराते हैं, आसमां पर ये नए रंग बिखर जाते हैं। भोर होते ही जो किरणों ने छुई चित्रावती, भोर होते ही जो किरणों ने छुई चित्रावती, एक मस्ती भरे संगीत में सब गाते हैं, एक मस्ती भरे संगीत में सब गाते हैं। लब पे कुदरत के, ओ लब पे कुदरत के कैसी हंसी छाई है, जानते हो कि नहीं सालगिरह आई है, हर तरफ एक महकी सी फिजा छाई है, जानते हो कि नहीं सालगिरह आई है। में कहर जुल्म सितम ढाते हैं और बर्बादी के आसार नजर आते हैं। दुनिया में कहर जुल्म सितम ढाते हैं और बर्बादी के आसार नजर आते हैं। तब कभी धर्म और ईमान के हिफाजत के लिए, तब कभी धर्म और ईमान के हिफाजत के लिए बंदा परवर खुद धरती पे उतर आते हैं। हर तरफ एक महकी सी फिजा छाई है, जानते हो कि नहीं सालगिरह आई है, हर तरफ एक महकी सी फिजा छाई है, जानते हो कि नहीं सालगिरह आई है, मेरे बाबा की आज सालगिरह आई है। Happy birthday to you, Sai Baba. 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 Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Sai Baba. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Sai Baba. Sai, you are very grand, our guide and guardian, Redeemer of mankind, Yuga Avatar Sai. We promise to imbibe the 5 values of life, marching to your symphony, Nagaswarupa Sai. Of our life, you are the reason for our living, the very essence of our lives are you, Prima Swarupa Sai. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, Swami, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Swami. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
झुलाई ब्रिज झूलना झुलाई
ब्रजबाला
झूले नंदलाला झूले साई बाबा
साई बाबा
रेशम की डोरी और सोने का पलना
रेशम की डोरी सोने का पलाना
आरती उतार ब्रजबाला
आरती उतार ब्रजबाला
झूले नंदलाला झूले साई बाबा
साई बाबा
झूले नंदलाला झूले साई बाबा बंगारो परती बाबा
मन बंगाल भरती बाबा
श्रृंगार वदना साई
श्रृंगार वदना साई
मन बंगारो परती बाबा
बंगाल भरती बाबा
अंतर्यामी बाबा
अंतर्यामी बाबा
मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई
मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई
मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई
सर्वांतर्यामी साई
मन बंगारो परती बाबा
बंगाल भरती बाबा
मन श्रृंगार वदना साई
श्रृंगार वदना साई
मन बंगारो परती बाबा
बंगाल भरती बाबा
अंतर्यामी बाबा
अंतर्यामी बाबा
सर्वांतर्यामी साई
मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई
मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई
मन सर्वांतर्यामी साई
हे शेष शयना नारायणा
विशेष शयना नारायणा
वेदाभरणा नारायणा
वेदाभरणा नारायणा
भवभयहरणा नारायणा पावन चरणा नारायणा
पावन शरणा नारायणा
साई पावन चरणा नारायणा
साई पावन शरणा
नारायणा साई नारायणा
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 नारायणा साई नारायणा नारायणा साई नारायणा
नारायणा साई नारायणा
नारायणा साई नारायणा
नारायणा साई नारायणा ईश्वरा प्रियनंदना
ईश्वरांबा प्रियनंदना
साई जय जगवंदना
साई जय जगवंदना
साई जय जगवंदना
साई जय जगवंदना
रत्नाकर कुलभूषणा
नागर कुलभूषणा
राजीव नयना नारायणा
राजीवनयना नारायणा
नारायणा साई 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 नारायणा
Narayana Sai Narayana
Narayana Sai Narayana
Narayana Sai Narayana
Narayana Sai Narayana
Allahu Akbar Allahu Akbar Allahu Akbar
Allahu Akbar Allahu Akbar Allahu Akbar
यीशु पिता प्रभु Allahu Akbar शिरडी साई पति साई तुम हो
यीशु पिता प्रभु अल्लाहु अकबर श्री साई पति साई
गुरु नानक भी तुम हो
गुरु नानक भी तुम हो
सौराष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो
सौराष्ट्र महावीर तुम हो
यीशु पिता प्रभु तुम हो
यीशु पिता प्रभु तुम हो
साई अल्लाह अकबर तुम हो
साई अल्लाहु अकबर तुम हो
ओ साई अल्लाह अकबर तुम हो
साई अल्लाहु अकबर तुम हो
ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मद रसूल अल्लाह या अल्लाह ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मद रसूल अल्लाह ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाह मुहम्मद रसूल अल्लाह दशरथ नंदन श्री रामचंद्र धर्म संरक्षक देवकी नंदन मुरलीधरा आनंददायक श्याम ईश्वराम सुत श्री सत्य साई प्रेमामृत भगवान जय 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 शिव शक्ति स्वरूपा मंगलदायक नाम जय 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 शिव शक्ति स्वरूपा मंगलदायक नाम दशरथ नंदन राम आनंददायक श्याम प्रेमामृत भगवान जय 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 साई राम बोलो जय 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 साई राम दशरथ नंदन राम आनंददायक श्याम प्रेमामृत भगवान बोलो जय 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 साई राम बोलो जय 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 साई राम दशरथ नंदन श्री रामचंद्र धर्म संरक्षक
It's a happy, happy, happy day. It's a holy, holy, holy day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Listen to the angels singing in the skies. Listen to the ocean waves dancing with joy. Listen to the birds singing in the trees. All of them singing happy birthday. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. It's a happy, happy, happy day. It's a holy, holy, holy day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Listen to the angels singing in the skies. Listen to the ocean waves dancing with joy. Listen to the birds singing in the trees. All of them singing happy birthday. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. Happy birthday, Sai Baba. It's a happy, happy, happy day. It's a holy, holy, holy day. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक पति महेश्वर ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना शीतला सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतीका आश्रित कल्पलतीका आपदानवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे माता पिता गुरुदैव मरियन्तयु नीवे स्वामी मरियन्तयु नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्र शयन ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी वो साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंधको मंगल आरती अंधको मंगल गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति शांति शांति
समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु 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 शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय। परमं
पवित्रं बाबा विभूतिं परमं विचित्रं लीला विभूतिं परमार्थ इष्टार्थमोक्षप्रदानं बाबा विभूतिं निरमाश्रयामि लीला विभूतिं निरमाश्रयामि। Miraculous Baba's creation, flowing from His blessed hands, holy creation, granting us the greatest one, God's divine perfection. Beloved Baba, grant us liberation. Beloved Baba, grant us liberation. Siempre dando a la vida nuevas esperanzas, brindanos tu gracias, dulce Sai Baba, brindanos tu gracias, dulce Sai Baba. ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महवे ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राणापानसमायुक्तः पचाम्यन्नं चतुर्विधम्। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Swami, we thank you for this wonderful opportunity to get together and sing your glory. Saram everyone, a few housekeeping announcements. Dinner is ready. Please do eat before you go. And there are some calendars, 2020 calendars from Puttaparthi. There are about 50, I think. We request you to take one per family, not one per individual, but one per family, please. There should be somewhere near where the food is on both sides, ladies and gents. And finally, if you're wondering why we did Samasta Loka 9 times, it's part of a new regional initiative for the 95th birthday. We just celebrated 94th birthday. What that means is we're getting ready for the 95th birthday. And in that spirit, the region has sent us some guidelines which we'll forward to you. It includes a simple prayer of saying Samasta Loka 9 times, and a few other things that you can easily do by spending 5 minutes of your day. So please look out for that email and message. There will be more details in there. Thank you very much.
Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की